Janet, my apologies. Janet, yes, yes. How many kids do you have? Hello, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I was saying that I have 3 children of my own, and I also am a teacher.
Oh, you're a teacher as well. So when you see what's happening in the school system, you just heard the statistics that we read and how we're shaping up internationally. What is your take on education and where we are and the role it has in shaping the future of our children?
Well, the point that I come from is both as a parent and as a teacher is that my concern is when I have a child that is struggling in my classroom and I reach out to the parents, and I have some parents, in particular, I have one parent this year whose child is really struggling, and the parent won't return my phone calls, won't return letters. I have the principal call her, we have the counselor, the intervention teacher. We're trying everything possible for this child, and yet the parent won't get involved. And the one time we did meet, she said that she couldn't do anything about it. That this is the way her child was. And as a parent, that frustrates me because I work and I have children, and I make time for my child. I do whatever is possible that is needed for my child. And I can't understand where some of these parents are coming from.
But could it be perhaps that because a lot of households, you just have a mother who's struggling to be there for the kids, even if she has just 1 or 2 children, she might have to work 2 and 3 jobs to be able to provide for the kids. And maybe that's a factor why they're not available to participate in their child's life. Because I know my mother, she worked 3 jobs.
Well, I completely can relate with that. My mother was a single mother. Yet she sought education.
Yes.
And she made sure that when she came home, she checked on me. She called, returned any phone calls to the school, or wrote a note, or did whatever she can. But in this case, I have a child who has both a mother and a father, and the mother doesn't work.
Wow. Yeah, there's no question. There's some people who really are trifling when it comes to parenthood. Well, listen, I want to ask you, do you still enjoy teaching?
I love teaching.
Oh, that's good.
I completely love teaching, and I listen to the radio every time as soon as the students leave because I'm looking for some positive. The positive that I get is from the students who tell me, I love learning, I love coming to school, this is great, this is easy, this is so easy, I love it.
Fantastic. Now, how many years have you been teaching?
I've been teaching 11 years, but with the district, only 7, so I actually am going to be laid off.
And what age category are you teaching?
I teach 2nd grade.
What grade?
2nd grade. 2nd
grade. You still have that mental stamina and still have that passion. Fantastic. Listen, thank you. The kids are blessed because of you, and here's some hoping and knowing that because of your passion and who you are, you're going to be able to create something even better to keep you engaged in the lives of the kids, okay? Thank you for calling in.
No problem. Thank you.
Yes, okay. I want to talk right now on line. Yes. Hello, how are you? Gee, thank you so much for calling in. Thank you for listening to the program. I'd like to know, what is your story?
Oh, I am the parent of a 12-year-old, and he has struggled in school, and the teachers don't want to do their part to get in touch with me. We had one incident where he went from an A to a C. I had been in to see the teacher multiple times just to make sure they knew who I was so that they knew that it could get in touch with me, given them the right contact numbers, and I never heard anything. When his grades slipped and I found out by the report card, I asked the teacher, why haven't you gotten in touch with me? Why didn't you let me know what was going on? And she told me she wasn't a babysitter. It wasn't her job to do that.
You got to be kidding me.
I'm thinking, I'm a parent that's trying to support my kids.
Okay, so what did you do with that? So when the teacher told you that, did you go to the principal and report that?
I talked to the principal, and the principal even, and everyone's a nice person on the surface, but they're not doing their jobs.
So they were very pleasant, but they didn't follow up. They're so busy doing what now?
They're doing everything else. They want to teach them social issues, but my kid's there for math. What does he need to know about your vacation? What does he need to know about your opinion of other things? They're trying, I think they're stretching themselves too thin instead of sticking with what they're supposed to do. You know, if my kid's slipping, you should be calling me and telling me we're struggling in math. What can we do? Instead of my kid coming home and saying, you know, I learned about what my teacher did on vacation or what have you.
You got to be kidding. Come on.
And we're not in a bad neighborhood or bad area. It's just I think teachers need to be trained like old school teachers. I had teachers like you talked about that they would get on you and they wanted to interact with the parents. But most of them now think that I've even emailed them and everything else. And it's a struggle even to get a response, doing everything they tell you to do to keep in touch with them.
That's interesting that you're saying that, G. I'd like to have some feedback from some other parents. I'm sorry to hear that. I thought that, we just had a teacher who said that she could not get parents to be engaged with her and not being responsive. She needs some parents like you, G, because you care about your kid and you're involved and want to play a role in that. So
and
what's happening with your child?
Yes. I wish she was one of my kids' teachers.
Yeah, absolutely. You heard that. So let me ask you, so what about your child's grades now? Have they been brought back up? What's the game plan?
Well, I just found out in another class he had a grade slipping, and again, teacher that I see didn't notify me, and the principal I didn't even hear from the principal until after the fact when I complained to the parent advocate. And I told the principal, why are you talking to me now? It's after the fact. The grades are in. You can't do anything to help if there is an issue between the student and the teacher, or if there's something else going on, I need to know. You need to be involved before all of this.
It requires constant vigilance so that there can be some intervention before the report card comes out. Am I correct?
You're correct. And if I'm being the one that's vigilant, but the teacher is not cooperating, it's not going to help.
Yeah, okay. Well, you've got to stay involved. Don't give up, and use the parent advocacy group and whatever else that you possibly can to call attention so that you can continue to do what you can to be a responsible parent and get the best educational benefit for your child.
I will do that.
Listen, thank you so much for listening. I appreciate you calling in and sharing your story.
Thank you. God bless you.
Yes, same to you. Bye now. Hello, how are you? Thank you so much for calling in. I'd like to know, what is your story, Shaheen? Is that how?
Yeah. Hi, I just love your program. This is the time when I usually go out to pick my child, and I'm always listening to your program, and you're just a great person. I really appreciate you being so positive, and I'm a very positive person.
Thank you.
And my thing is that, my older daughter, she went to a public school. She's 30 now. But rest of my kids, I never send them to a public school. My youngest one is 14. He is going to a private school. And the problems we had with her being in a public school, nobody really cared. And all other kids went to private schooling. And the youngest one, he is in a private school right now. He's 14, like I said. And, they have a really great system going. We have a blackboard through computer. If he's not bringing a good grade, first of all, how boys are. I have 3 older girls, and boys, they need to be pushed all the time. Push.
But let me ask you what about the size of the classroom? The size of the classroom, is it a large classroom or a small classroom?
20 kids, 22 kids in each classroom.
Yes.
And
hold on just a minute. Hold just a minute. I'll be right with you. We got to take a break and we'll be right back, okay? Listen, we're talking about how do you begin to look at the school system, and what's your story around your child's education? Do you feel they're being properly trained and educated and prepared for the future? We'd like for you to become a part of the conversation. 888-539-2980. That's 888-539-2980.